We are extremely pleased to welcome Quintessence to La Carlière, our early 16th century manor house in the heart of the Normandy countryside. We bought the house 14 years ago as a weekend retreat from our busy lives in the fashion industry in Paris. Over time, Rambert and I have done a great deal of work and renovation, bringing the house back to life. Above all, we wanted to create a home that would be comfortable and allow us to indulge in our passion for antiques and collecting. The interiors, all of which we have designed ourselves, are a combination of French and English style, mixing together different periods and playing with texture, colour and pattern. Throughout the house, we made rooms that contrast in spirit, making them perfect places for a particular time of day or the year. The house always inspires us, which was the reason behind our decision to start a new venture of making products for the home. And we have called it La Carlière. For the time being, we started with cushions, which you will see throughout our interiors. But we are excited to say that there will soon be different products to complete the range.
Peter, so in this living room, I'm immediately struck by this wonderful compilation of color, time periods, countries, provinces, and it's all, it's clearly very edited by your passion, both of you, for textile and color. Mm-hmm. But how does it all come to be? I mean, you have no fear when it comes to mixing. Is that a portrait from what century?
That's a 17th century portrait by Jean of one of the Spanish royals, and I think that's very much something like you say. We didn't really follow any rules here. We just put together everything we love. So that is mixing textiles. We have, like on the sofa, there's a Benetton fabric. We actually got this sofa. It was from a sale by a house that had been decorated by David Milnaric in England, and brought it over from England, the Howard sofa, but then mixing tiger and tapestry. And then this is one of our cushions that we make. It's actually an embroidery, but we've used it on the reverse side. And what we loved about this is that it just had this sort of heart motif. The actual
I'm just
side,
noticing that's remarkable.
So I think also that's kind of one of the things about the house. It's very romantic, I think.
It is very romantic.
We've created quite a romantic
my
environment
heart
here.
I started swooning a little bit when I came in, and I felt a kind of palpitation. And I think some of it was that unexpected mix of, like, is that a French tapestry?
That's a French tapestry from Aubusson.
Okay, so
and I think what we love about the tapestries, it's like it takes the place of a painting. It does the same thing, but it also brings warmth to a room.
And a visual layer.
And very much a visual layer. And in some of the tapestries that we have around the house, for me, they feel like the landscape outside of the house.
Yes.
So it's almost a case of bringing the outside in, which one does with plants and cutting branches or flowers, but also a tapestry does that in the same way in some ways.
And very much in the winter, correct?
Yeah,
I mean,
completely.
that will sit. I mean, I know this house, you come here on the weekends, the two of you from
completely.
Paris, all year long, and certain rooms probably are more summer rooms, but some rooms have to be cheerful and comfortable for you in February.
Exactly, no, that's very right. And this room is quite light and airy, so it tends to be a room that we'll use a little bit more in the summer, but nonetheless, it's the biggest room in the house. So when we are here with large groups at any time in the year, it's the room that we have to use where we can accommodate most people. And we have a really great fire.
It's interesting. There is an almost formality, as though we are in London or Paris, of the mantle with that clock.
Yeah,
But then when my eye roams around, I feel like, oh, now I'm kind of in the English countryside.
completely.
But over here, I could be in maybe Marrakesh.
Yeah, which is really what we love. And I think some people have come here and they've said, oh, it seems very English. And like both Rambert and I, we don't agree with that at all. I think it's really a balance of English and French. The clock, you can't get any more French than that. It's actually one from Rambert's family that he inherited.
Okay, well, and sorry, the French, he's French and you're English.
I'm English,
so
and I'm from Oxford, so I'm very English.
So it's kind of this house really does reflect the marriage of your
Completely.
Partnership and your styles.
Yeah, it
and
really
your
does. But then all of the other things that come from different cultures, like the Indian paintings, textiles that come from Uzbekistan, just this mix, Delft vases. It's really what we enjoy and what we love, and we love putting these vignettes together,
the vignettes,
mixing objects.
You saw my reaction when I saw. There's a balance to your vignettes. They're not too fussy, but there's this wonderful spontaneity. And again, I use the word whimsy because it feels like it all just happened, but I know a lot of care and love went into arranging it, but it doesn't feel fussy. Are those dog collars?
Yes, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
We like to collect them, all different sorts. Some of them are very old. Say, for example, this one's 1778. Some of them have the names of the dog, the owner of the dog. And this one, I love it. For me, it's just like the Hermes bracelet.
Yes, or it could almost be a belt, and there's the name of the dog. I've never, in all my years of seeing different kinds of collections, this is a first, and it's extraordinary.
There's a great collection at the Musée de la Chasse in Paris.
Oh, I've actually been there.
Exactly. They have a really beautiful one, some with great big spikes. But they're quite difficult to find, and whenever we see them in auctions or antique markets, we always buy them.
And you don't have a dog?
No.
Okay, so you must. That is the next on the list.
Yes, exactly, because we have the collar for the dog when we have a dog, but no dog at the moment.
Rambert, what I would love to know, you and Peter are both so deeply steeped in fashion.
True.
And I have a question about when I come into certainly this room, I see so much color and pattern and this jubilation of the combination of them both. Is that what you are drawn to in fashion and live with in day to day, or totally different?
It's quite funny you asked that question because it's exactly the opposite. At work, we mainly use black, which is obviously the opposite of all the colors we use. And what is nice here in that room is like we add colors, on stripe, on motif, and that's what makes the richness of that room. And that's why it's so nice to spend time in that room.
And to leave the office where you're dealing with a lot of neutrals and blacks, and to come here, I'm sure it must be like a haven, a jewel to wrap yourself around.
It's like a shot of vitamins, you know, it's like you
visual
see
vitamins.
Visually, it's heaven. You walk in and instantly, after a long week of work, you just come, relax, see all those colors, and it's fabulous, and we love it.
I was wondering, because I know you both love books, what are those? Are those bound World of Interiors or I love this idea.
It was a sale. We were inspired by Charles Sevigny, who unfortunately died, and he had this type of colors, and we get inspired by it.
So he had done things similar?
He had done things similar, and it's adding even more to the colors of the Petit Salon. So it's like a reflection of here and what you can see on the sofa and in the room.
Beautiful.
We love colors.
So you use all things all the time?
All the time.
Isn't it amazing how stairs are just like really the best? You guys, can I just say something? I know you're in fashion, but I really think you might want to get into the world of interior design. I would hire you in a second. A lot of people would. I mean, you really speak this language so naturally and exuberantly. I think I've used that word maybe 5 times during this tour, but
please do use us. No,
but how did you
I have
do
to say,
this?
I think I think, we love our careers in fashion, but at the same time, we're very passionate about interiors. I think in some ways we are probably frustrated interior decorators. It's something that we would be happy to pursue. And this
How did you do this?
Well, this bedroom, it very much started with the bed. The bed came with this fabric.
You mean you didn't get
already.
the sisal rug first and say, what?
No, I know. I know that that's how some people start from the floor up. But we had this bed. We knew that we knew that we wanted it for this bedroom, and we also didn't want to hold back. We wanted to go for it and be quite strong. So we chose the toile de Nantes from Pierre Frey for the walls. So it was putting together two strong elements.
Which, might I add, don't exactly match in their colors, but they work
No,
together.
the
And thankfully they don't work too perfectly together.
The reds aren't identical, that's for sure. But then we also combined it we made these covers for the night tables with a Simran fabric. There's one of our cushions as well, which has another tone of pink. So it was taking a lot of different tones of reds and pinks and mixing it up and making it work together.
And more is more.
More is more. And may I invite myself over for the evening next time I come to France?
We'll be so happy if
Can I be here?
Of course, that's your bed now.
Okay, sorry, Stacey. There's other rooms for her.
Your name is that bed.
Okay, thank you.
Here we are in the principal bedroom. We painted it in porphyry pink from Flair and it gives a beautiful soothing colour which catches the light beautifully throughout the day. One of the main features in the bedroom is the 19th century Anglo-Indian four-poster bed that we bought at Christie's in London. It's hung with fabric by Robert Keim for Chelsea Textiles. At the back of the bed for the headboard, we put a block print to reinforce the Indian spirit. On one of the walls there hangs an 18th century tapestry depicting the life of Alexander the Great. By coincidence, we found exactly the same scene painted in gouache in a local antique shop. It's nice to have the two hanging together in the same room. Next to the bed, you will see one of the new projects that we're working on. To make bespoke lampshades sold with a base and very much in the spirit of our own cushions. The lampshades will be made in collaboration with Neil Sherring from Florin in the UK. So here we're in the top floor corridor which links the bedrooms and bathrooms, and for the walls we chose to put a burlap. So we liked the idea that it was a very raw material, very neutral. Around the edges of the doors we studded it to give it a little bit of glamour. We expose our collection here of 17th century embroideries. And they sit very beautifully on that raw texture. And just also to give a bit more of added interest, we painted the beams red. And just by having this red ceiling, it just kind of lifted everything. So one thing that we have in the house is a number of quite small, quirky bathrooms. I think there's 4 or 5 in total, each linked to one of the bedrooms. We wanted to create really special spaces as well. If you consider it's primarily a weekend home, so you come here to relax. Me personally, one of the things I really like to do is luxuriate on a Saturday morning in the bath. So big ball and claw baths were very important, and we tried to get those in all of the bathrooms that would accommodate them. But then beyond that, we wanted to create spaces that felt decorated as well. So they have wallpapers or quite special colours. One bathroom is painted in arsenic by Farrow and Ball. That bathroom is covered with engravings and prints. The bathroom that's linked to our bedroom, we've got a set of paintings and prints and things that we found at auction and special pieces to us. So we all the time surrounding ourselves with things that hold special memory or a relevance to both Rambert and myself.
have it done.
Don't miss another video visit. Click on the orange Q to subscribe and have Quintessence virtually delivered from our doorstep to yours.